strategic initiatives at Uplers. And with me is Pallab Sarkar today, who is the VP of Engineering at Nuclei. A warm welcome. Yeah, a warm welcome to everyone, and a warm welcome to you, Pallab. Welcome to Remote Revolution Season 6. Uh,
Thank you, Rishi. I'm excited to join and interact with other peoples of the community.
that's amazing. I see around 75 people have already joined. We'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes while people are still joining in. In the meantime, every one of you listening to us who have joined today would love to know a little bit about you. You can type in the text box, in the chat box, and our backend team would be kind of looking into it. You can introduce yourself, mention a bit about your place of work, your city, where you're from. One thing that you love about remote. We'll all love to uh, hear that. And while you guys do that, let me take a few minutes to introduce what we do at Remote Revolution and at Uplers at large, and a little bit about Pallab as well. So, Remote Revolution is a series or an initiative that we have taken on behalf of Uplers. At Uplers, our purpose is to create opportunities, and we want to make hiring reliable, simple, and fast for top remote brands. All right. Uh, in this initiative, we invite top speakers like Pallab here. We have had speakers from Twilio, Atlassian, and many more companies who come and share a little bit about what they do, about the companies, their culture, how they make remote working happen, and most importantly for everyone, what is the job interview process in a company like Nuclei or Atlassian, and how do you prepare yourself to crack those interviews, right? And at the same time, it's not just enough to crack an interview, but then once you have cracked that interview, you also need to succeed in your remote job and deliver what's expected out of you, right? So what kind of traits are expected once you join? All of those aspects we are going to cover today. And that's the agenda of this series, to enlighten everyone, to share insights with you on these topics, specifically from speakers from these companies who have done that, who have spent considerable amount of time and have achieved that milestone in their own lives, and they are themselves are sharing how they succeeded and what it takes to succeed in a company like Nuclei. What are the job interview processes, and what are the sources that you need to go to in order to be able to in order to become capable to crack those interviews. So that is what our initiative is all about. Moving on to our agenda today. So we will go through the journey of Pallab at Nuclei, what he does day to day. He'll share a little bit about the engineering team over there and the people at Nuclei. Then we'll also dive into Nuclei's hiring process, the remote culture. What are the values, right, that you need in order to succeed or in order to even get selected at Nuclei, and then some tips to crack remote interviews, not just for Nuclei, but for any other top remote company. What people who are the hiring managers expect from you. And eventually, we'll even take Q&As from everyone. I would request all of you who have joined in today, you can put your questions that you have at any point in time in the chat box. Our team at the back end, comprising of Shilpa, Pallavi, and Shilpi, and others, would be taking notes of those questions. And at the end of the session, I will ask those questions from your chat, right? Uh, and that's about it. Without any further ado, let's deep dive, starting with Pallab's journey. He has achieved amazing things. Currently, he is the VP of engineering at Nuclei. He leads the entire product team and the software team, and they develop amazing products which banks across India and across Asia and Middle East are using, right? So let's hear from Pallab himself a little bit about his journey, and how he ended up as the VP of engineering at Nuclei. Over to you, Pallab.
Thanks, Ruchi. First of all, I like to thank you to give me an opportunity to talk to the community directly. So as people are looking for remote jobs, companies are also looking for the great talents. And if we can express our way we want to hire people, that will actually improve the quality of profiles we get, right? So it's both way, it's not a single way. So that's the thing. So coming to my career till now, so I passed out in 2007, major in electronics and communication. So started with a very small company, around 30 people company. We are working for European clients, working on the SIP wipe stacks and all those things. Like I remember back in those days when we don't have any wipe call feature, we developed it for different customers at that time and shipped it to European customers. From there, I moved to a company at a San Diego-based startup, Packet Video, which used to work with Google, and entire multimedia stack was from that company, Packet Video. And I moved to Tokyo, worked there along with a lot of our customer. And then finally, one of our customer was Samsung, and finally I joined Samsung full time and worked in Samsung research in Bangalore for a very long time. I think 4 5 years. So that was a journey which changed my life. And then I wanted to try something out new. And then I started working in a very small startup, and the stealth mode startup. And we worked in AI/ML based products, mostly related to facial recognition and all those stuffs. And that scaled pretty well. So after 4 5 years working there, uh, I have a knack to try about how it's happening in fintech, because that time fintech was growing very well. Right. So that's where I came to Nuclei, because they are doing very amazing work in fintech space, especially with the banks, because Indian banks are very traditional in approach and they are giving those tech muscles to those companies. And that's where I came and joined Nuclei. And I think it's around 2 years, more than 2 years now it's in Nuclei. And primarily what I am taking care of three things. One, in the people side. So in the people side, it's my role to hire the best people, keep them motivated, and see them they are growing or not. Because hiring is one part, but after hiring, if you cannot keep them engaged and motivated, you will lose that, right? So and we created a very good process inside company so that they keep on growing. So we have good growth guides and other stuffs which I will cover later on also. So that's the one main role I am playing there. Second is on the technology part. So the products which we are developing, so I have to own the complete technology roadmap, like how we are going to solve the problems of the customers, right? Along with the team we have hired, we have to solve problems for those customers is the second part. And third thing which I have to take care is basically improve the processes. And it's a continuous thing, because it cannot be like 2 years back we have developed some processes around anything. Maybe it's maintaining our databases, to giving feedbacks, anything, to coordination, team coordination. It has to update it again and again. Even security, we are just discussing about that also. So because we are delve into fintech, so all those processes I have to keep updated and keep up to the mark, to the industry standard. So these are the three things. So people, process, and technology. So these 3 4 things I have to delve and work along with the team. So that's the complete journey. I think it's 16 years, but in small set I've tried to cover it.
No, amazing, amazing. And for all our tech community people who have joined in today, right? There are no limits, right? So Pallab started really small. He even worked in a company which was a stealth mode startup, right?
Yeah.
So it's not always going to happen that we start our careers in amazing companies like Google, Meta, Facebook, nothing like that, right? No matter how small you start, but it's all about learning, growing, developing, and eventually one day down the line you will be a top leader in one of those top fintech startups like Pallab here. So very inspirational, and you just inspired us that no matter how small you start, there's always growth. It's all in the mindset. You just have to keep learning and growing. So amazing to know, Pallab. Thanks a ton for that. Coming to the next section, right? As people who are looking to grab amazing opportunities in top remote companies, we should always know what that company is doing. Without knowing that, without knowing what the company is doing, who the clients of those companies or which industries that companies' products cater to, what they have built, what is the problem that they are solving in the world. Without this context, if you just randomly apply into any companies, you will not have the depth to clear those interviews. So the first step for anyone to clear an interview in a top remote company or even a top global company would be to talk about or understand about what that company is doing, what is their business around, and how they operate, right? And to clear the context around what Nuclei does, we would now move on to this section. Pallab, over to you. Tell our viewers what Nuclei does, what problem you are solving, and what they need to know.
Yeah, so I think these next two slides talks about that. So if I go with the stats, like I think in 2018, so we just completed 5 years. Okay, so around 18 plus written here, but I think it's more than 20 banks are our customers, mostly ICICI, IndusInd, Bank of Maharashtra. You name most of the banks are our customers in India, and we are also expanding in Middle East and Middle East region also. So EMEA region also. So we have few customers out there, right? And currently it's around 3 million transaction per month, and we have around 40%, 40 plus partners. So basically, we cannot work alone. We need a lot of partners to fulfill those product requirement. I will come to the product things also later on, that what is our product and all. But these are the stats. So we are very small team, around 120 plus. But what we have found out that this is a manageable team size which we can deliver anything. We need not to grow to lakhs of employees, and we cannot stay small to 30 and to 100, 120 is a good amount of employees to scale the products. But in future, if we have more product lines, then we will obviously need more hands to help us. And 60 plus are already 60% of those employees are tech people who are actually from DevOps, from front end, back end, senior backend, QA. These all people are mostly tech people. So that's the thing. Now coming to what Nuclei is all about. So that's the very important part to understand. Like Ruchi told, that before you try to apply to any company, first you have to understand that what company does, because sometimes your way of working or your interest might not align with that. Maybe you are very good at in backend or front end, but the way day-to-day company function will be entirely different for a B2B company compared to a B2C company, right? So what our product is, we are a B2B fintech startup, and we primarily works with banks. Why we work with bank? That now what is there, you have used Paytm and other products, right, where user are using it day in day out, and they are coming up with new features. So banks are getting behind to that zone of employee customer experience. So they also want to compete with those fintech startups, but they cannot do it alone because they are not a tech company, they are a banks. So that's where we fit in. We bring those tech savviness and give them those products so that they can also wow their customer. Now you open a ICICI mobile application, most of the you can do recharge, bill payment, flight booking, hotels, all things are given by us. So we give SDKs to bank, they integrate in their main application, and their application become a super app. Now the user is tightly integrated to their ecosystem, and they have a good experience compared to a normal banking application, which just you can update passbook and all those stuffs. So that's the thing. And there's a huge demand in the banking space, so that users can have good experience. Now, so I think I explained on why bank need us. And I want to explain about like what are our product lines. We actually have 3 products. One product is for the enterprise customer, for the retail customer, like normally day to day what people use. So that goes into as an SDK to the bank, and any user who is customer of bank can use those features in terms of super app. He opens a mobile application, he found out a grid where he can use, he can book a bus ticket, flight ticket, he can do a phone recharge and all the stuffs, all go through via our SDK and backend. Second product is for the business customers. So bank also have business customer, SMEs, right? Or bigger customers. And that's where they have a different needs. What is their needs? Basically, they have to control their SaaS spends or the tools they are using inside the companies. So for that, we have a different product, which we give to the bank so that they can service to their SME customer or business customer. And third product is Arise Club, which we are building for UHNI customers. So very high net worth customers might have a different need with the bank, and how to cater to that. So we have tried to cover all type of customers of a bank and with a different product offering. So that's how Nuclei works, and we try to expand our product lines because that's what make us sustainable for long term. So
yep, no, amazing. So as a user, a lot of us would not know that through ICICI Bank's iMobile app, if I booked a flight ticket, it was actually you guys at Nuclei who had made that SDK given to ICICI, and ICICI had simply plugged it into their system, right? Uh, and
Correct.
and that's why a lot of people in the B2B space, a lot of people like us don't know in the B2B space how big of an impact companies like Nuclei are making, right?
Yes.
And you guys are having catering to millions of transactions this way, which is huge in itself, and amazing to know what you guys have done. So yeah, that really opened up our eyes to new horizons. Moving on to the next part, and let me see if I can move to the next slide. Let's cover the second most critical aspect that we have, right? Uh, People usually focus heavily on the tech skills. That hey, technically I'm super strong. I can build anything, right? But if they do not know about the culture of the company, and if they are not aligned to the culture of the company, as per my understanding, you'll not be able to crack an interview, no matter how good your tech skills are, right? So would love to know a little bit about the culture and what you look for in the people when you hire. Would love your views on that, Pallab.
Yeah. So, Ruchir, so there is a paradigm shift compared to how we used to do work before we are working offline in offices compared to how it is working in remote. So initially, what used to happen that we all used to sit around each other. Like I have worked around more than a decade in office environment, so it should be most difficult for me to transition to remote work environment, right? So as a experience senior junior or a 1 year experience guy or 2 year experience guy, so there is a less of an you can say yeah, friction in terms of transitioning to any cultural environment. If you're in an offline setting, you sit around your seniors and you see and learn, right? But now in remote setup, that is somehow not possible in a traditional manner, right? Now these factors become more important. So we also learned it over the time while initial hiring that no matter how good a person is, if it's not culturally aligned, he will not be successful. Compare in any company, not even in Nuclei, in any company, if he is not aligned with the company culture, even if he joins also, he will not be successful. So that's why every company is now taking care of the cultural round as a most important round. Even in Nuclei also, for us, even from the first interview till the last interview, we are also checking those cues, those hints that will he be able to survive or work or align with our culture or not. Because at the end, you are sitting at home, okay, on your own, and you have given some work. Now, if you don't have discipline, if you don't have ownership, and of the very good level, and you don't understand freedom and responsibility, then it will be a chaos in terms of handling you itself, because all are working autonomously most of the time, until unless you are in meeting, right? So that's what we built. So we made the people as the center of the company. So it's a team first culture. Our people are most important thing. So what we say in normal terms, that our first product is our people. We always say like that. So our first product is our people, and those people will build the company. So that's what. So we all work as a community, not as a hierarchical company sort of culture. It's we work as a community. We understand and we live through those ethos which we have set up. So it's a team first culture, and we own whatever we do. We own. So we have 3 product lines. I told you, right? So all these 3 product lines works independently. So they, and wherever need, we work together also, because some customer might need some features or product side from Arise and some from merchant marketplace. So we can work along also. So because all these things possible, because we build the culture that way, that there is pure transparency. It's nothing like working in silos. Nobody works in silos. Okay. And that's the thing. So like you see in the unlimited leaves, it's written, it sound good, unlimited leave. But if people are not aligned in the cultural way, no company can claim that we can give unlimited leaves. But it's Nuclei, we actually true to that. We don't track any leaves, but we then want those people who owns company with themselves, and they say, okay, when I'm taking leaves for certain important purpose, I'm not just misusing the system, right? So that's where culture come into the play. I think you got the idea, right? What I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and very valid, right? You as a business can only motivate people to a certain extent. A lot of things have to come from within. And specifically in a remote environment, when you don't have someone looking over your shoulder all the time, you don't have people who are going to tell you 30 minutes, 45 minutes every day, at every 45-minute interval that, hey, now you need to do this, hey, now you need to do that. You need to understand that what are my responsibilities at this point in time, what are my task lists, what items from the sprint I need to take up, what cards I need to deliver on. So obviously those things matter. And if people own those things, then they'll not misuse any of the liberties that the business wants to give. At the end of the day, everyone wants to keep people happy, and businesses will try to do that. But then if the people don't reverberate in the same way, it will not work. The system and the remote setting in itself will fail. And hence you rightly pointed out that culture is now becoming more of a I mean the most important aspect of any company and their hiring processes. So very well said. And there would be uh, some values attached to your culture, right? Which would identify, which would help you identify who are the people who fit in, and who are the people who may not be the right fit for Nuclei. Let's dive into the core values that you guys follow.
Yeah. So these are the 6 core values which we like, which are actually our core things which we have to follow and see if the people are aligned to it. And also it's not like that all are 100% correct. So we have kept around half a day in a week for uh, uh, helping people to learn those aspects also, because hard skills you can learn but soft skills you can't. It comes with time. So for that we have a lot of book clubs and other stuffs where we pick up those points which will enlighten the people and try to understand what exactly mean by ownership and leadership. Like, it's not a word, you have to live it day in day out, and we set examples for them to understand by reading some other books or some other articles or day-to-day environment, right? So first is ownership and leadership. So everyone in leaders in their own right. It's not like that leadership is only for the 4 or 5 people in the company. It's not like that. Even from the junior to a senior and the senior leadership, everybody are leaders in their own aspects, and we expect from them. Second is, that's what part I was telling, humility. We should understand that we don't know what we don't know, right? So we have to learn a lot of things. So, and it can only be achieved by continuous learning. So we have book club, we have tech clubs, and we actually take them very seriously. We actually track that what all things we have learned, which book we have picked. Like currently we are going through a book called Clear Thinking. So that's where it will help us to take good decisions, and good decision independently. They should not ping me, hey Pallab, I am stuck there. You are empowered to take those decisions in your certain boundary, even a junior person also. So those level of upbringing we have to bring, and this is what our culture is about. Respect for everything and everything we do. So obviously third is basically, if we don't respect each other, if mutual respect is not there, obviously there will not be a smooth running company, right? Truth and honesty come along with that. If you're honest, and that's where I told you, like, unlimited leaves, how it comes into picture, because truth and honesty is there, one aspect of it. And we need not to look into the person's aspect, or need not to have some trackers installed in some browser. Nothing like that happens, right? We all know each other very well, and we understand that we are working for the bigger purpose. Freedom and responsibility. You have freedom, you go anywhere. We are completely remote, you can work from anywhere. I have worked 6-7 months out of Bangalore. I have stayed in Himalaya and a lot of places and work from there. Nothing stops us, and nobody checks also. But then I am responsible for output of the company, output of my product, output of my team, and myself. That, hey, I am in correct direction or not. I am keeping everyone updated, or we are in sync or not. That is my responsibility. If I have given that responsibility, then only I am eligible for that freedom, right? And then trust and transparency, because all these things will happen if we have a trust and transparency and ego-less environment, then only we can function, right? So I think that's what sums up our core values.
Amazing, amazing. And these values should not be only for Nuclei, but as individuals in our lives, if we follow these values, we would be better individuals, right? Not just professionally, but personally as well. In any relationship, if we keep trust, transparency, if we are honest, if we respect everything that we are doing, I mean, these are all principles we should all live by. So amazing. And it's pretty we don't realize it, but it's a no-brainer. If someone lacks trust and transparency, how can that person be a part of a team where together you guys are achieving something larger than yourself, right? So it totally makes sense, and everyone should prepare for these values and understand, and in their mind they should be clear about the situations where they have displayed these things, right? So that whenever there is a situation put in front, whether in interviews or in any real life situation also, they can sink back and understand that, hey, at this point in time, because I faced this particular issue, because of my honesty, I in the long run it always helped me, right? So in future also I'm going to do that, and those things are pretty important. So true, amazing, Pallab. When it comes to uh, preparation for remote interviews, specifically Nuclei being a remote company, right? There are a lot of people who are in service-based companies, and their roles have been limited because of the nature of the work. But in a product company, specifically when you own the product, you are solving a particular problem. Anything can come up, um, and a lot of mindset shift as well as skill shift is required when you want to do that, right? So when someone wants to join a product company like yourselves, what are the things that they need to do and eventually prepare for their interviews?
Okay. So yeah, first thing I want to, I think you told about services and product-based company. I think the boundary is in the mindset, right? So first thing, you don't stop yourself from trying out in product companies. So even in product companies also, you can enter, and with the proper training and proper understanding, there are roles for every type of people. So this I tell in the culture round, which I take most of the time. Even people join or not join Nuclei because of certain thing, I always say there is a place for every people in somewhere in the complete ecosystem. You have to understand where you lie. That's the thing, and you have to move ahead where you want to go. So two things. First thing, alignment. So three things basically. First is alignment. So first you have to understand what is company, what Nuclei actually want to achieve. So if you go to our website, so you can see we have also published complete handbook, employee handbook also in our website. If you go through that also, you will understand that what exactly Nuclei is all about. So because then you go to the role level alignment, what exactly the role need. In the job description, it will be written nicely what exactly is needed, what are the skill sets. Soft side, you will understand from the core values we have, right? So that is where. So if it aligns with you, then move ahead, because 90% of time what happens, people just keep on applying, and it's not at all a problem if you tweak your CV, because it's a CV is very long, 3 4 5 pages people made it, because which doesn't make sense. Put the correct thing, concise manner, and if it matches or aligned with the role, then you apply, right? Because then it will save your time, because you keep on checking what is happening, right? So first thing is align, validate the role fit, right? And then comes the hard skill. Now hard skill is two part. One is the what we check mostly is, first is the like fundamentals, how much your fundamentals are clear, right? Some of the, because we cannot cover entire tech stack, right? There are lot of things, but the basics are same for everyone. Like Java, what I know, you will also know. Okay, Spring Boot, some version, something came, that's okay. But basics of Java, see, there's only 1 or 2 books, right? So that fundamental should be very clear. Second thing, where you excelled, where you have gone to the deep, where you have worked. These two things are very important, right? So hard skill you have to prepare like that, and second is the soft skill. Obviously, uh, it's not only about the hard skill. From your, so two type of people: one who have experience, okay, and 1 hour that's just coming out of the college or 1-2 year experience, right? So there are a lot of leadership skills they actually show or have shown, not only in the work, in their personal life also. They might have done a lot of things in terms of college life, or they have played football, cricket. We, because all these things shows that you are active, you are passionate about the things you do. So these things also matter. You work as a in a team, right? Not only in the professional life, in personal life, or outside also. So what about those soft skills, right? And you have to show them that remotely or in general, you will be able to function as a team along with other people and learn and grow. Because most of the time what happens that your hard skills matches, but later on you're not able to grow and go along with our teams. Then it's a problem for you and other people also. But now the thing is like that in cultural knowledge itself, we will able to identify, and then you might lose out on that opportunity, right? So that is the 3 dimensions I always tell people, like first align, then look for hard skill, and then for soft skill. And prepare early. It's not like that you seen the job offer and then you start preparing job role. You should list companies. Okay, these are the companies I aspire to go to, and then try to mold yourself so that when it comes, you are ready. So that's prepare early. That's the thing.
No, awesome. And you have also covered a little bit about STAR methodology of
Yeah.
interview, right?
Yeah.
Situation, tasks, actions, and results. Right?
Yes.
Uh, for a lot of our people who do not know about that, can you just briefly cover that piece as well, so people can then visualize how their process will look like?
Yes. Yes. Correct. So, so what happens that in the interview setting, suppose we ask you a question on in terms of like, uh, have you ever optimized any database? Suppose I ask this question to you. Okay. So one is, yes, I have done this way. That is a blank answer. It will not impress any interviewer. You have to give the context. Why to give the context? You have to tell, in this situation, when my product was this, and I face this problem, or it is given to me by my TL, and then this is the situation. And in that situation, this is the part of task which was given to me. I have to optimize the throughput or latency part of it, or whatever it is. Because entire team, you are not only working, you should know your part of the role, right? The situation in that, what is your task, right? Then what actions you have taken. I have evaluated A, B, C technology, and I understood that B is better for me, optimizing the caching or some others aspect which I implied, and then result. This is the result which actually I am successful or failed. So don't shy away that you have done a lot of things and you still failed at the end, but still you can tell that. So a lot of time I've seen people, they only want to show that I have successful, but some of the things are very hard problem, or hard problem for your level of understanding. You might have grown out of it, right? That also you can say, but after failing, I understood and reiterated and then solve it. So that is the STAR method. So first you have to tell the situation, what are the tasks, and what are the actions you have taken, and finally what is the result. So this is, in this manner, if you give your complete answer, then it will actually bring a lot of other questions to drive the conversation forward, and the people also understand, okay, you have done it and you actually know and you have a depth. So that's the way of taking STAR method of explaining any problem asked in an interview.
Lovely. So guys, this was pure gold, right? Whenever you appear for an interview and you have been asked about a particular situation or a task that you have done, include all of this, right? The situation, the task given to you, the actions you took, and the result, whether you failed or succeeded, doesn't really matter, as long as you failed but then learned and you became a better individual. Always follow this methodology whenever you are appearing for any interview. Brilliant example, Pallab, and thanks for sharing this. Um let's discuss about the tech stack that you guys use, and a little bit about the product section now.
Yeah. So this tech stack, I just put it for the people, like because we want to understand like how Nuclei we are working on it. So if we go through that, so upper layer is basically our most of the application are written in Flutter earlier. Okay. So Flutter, why we use Flutter? Basically, if you write once and you can build it for both Android and iOS. So what we build is basically SDK in most of the cases, and we have a web-based solutions also, like Arise and other things are on web-based. But let's now, for the discussion purpose, we will discuss one merchant marketplace. So Flutter is main thing which we used earlier. Now we have, for web-based solution, we started move to Swift, basically your Svelte. Why we moved to Svelte? Because web-based solutions are much easier to develop in that, and is a very good performance we have seen. So we moved to Svelte for the web-based solutions. Okay. So, and we made SDKs now, which goes into the customer's main app. Okay. And then they integrate those SDK in their main app, and then through a CTA, it will open our category, your complete grid. And in that, we have all our categories. What are categories? Basically, if they are mini applications, small application in a super app scenario. If you have seen Paytm or other bank app or other fintech application, inside that also similar. So suppose take a case of recharge. So suppose the grid open, now user want to do a recharge, so he will click the tile of recharge. Then once you click the tile of recharge, the call will come to our backend. We will see the user and the complete journey will be there. Front end journey and the backend calls will happen. He will put the amount, how much recharge he want to do. He will be populated with some options from where he can drop down or select. Okay, I want 155 rupees recharge and all those from Airtel and all those stuff. And in the backend, we will do integration with lot of fulfillment vendors. Like for recharge, we have some vendor. For flights, we have some vendors. We have a backend integration with them, right? So bank need not to talk to those vendors directly. We integrate and work with those vendors. So that's how our business works. So backend is mostly written in Go and Spring. It's mostly that. And we use RabbitMQ, standard Python for scripting and all those purpose. But mostly backend is written in Spring and Go. And for communication, we use gRPC, even for front-end to back-end communication, and within back-end to back-end communication also, we use gRPC. Because of obvious reason, because it's more, you can say, optimized compared to a REST-based calls, right? Even for back-end communication. Then database, mostly MySQL, Redis and Elasticsearch is used for all the your log searching and all this purpose. And a lot of analytics and all those stuffs also we are doing, not populated here. So, and then infra is very, very important for us because we work with banks. So our infra is not, we take care of security also. So it's a DevSecOps. We take care of lot of security, like you can see Wazoo, you can see SonarQube, HashiCorp Vault. These are the technology stack which helps us to secure all the things from the cybersecurity breaches and all. So all things are running like that. On the services side, for product managers, we have Jira, GitHub, and Whimsical. We used it later, but now we move to some other tools. And in design, it's mostly Figma, Marvel, and Zeppelin. So this is the complete thing which we work. It's keep on changing because in startup environment, we keep on trying. See, this Svelte came just 2 months back, 2 or 3 months back into this picture. We experimenting it 6 months back, and we now started going live with Svelte. We moved the Flutter web part, and we came up with this. And very interesting thing, if people want to know more about like what we do in the tech and other things, we have a very good blogs written in our website. So you could go into the web in the blog section of our website portal, and you can understand what all things we do and why we are doing and why we are moving. And it will give you a very good understanding about how we think as a company.
Yeah, no, totally, absolutely. And this is probably one of the sources that people should go to while preparing for an interview, right? Not just for that particular company. I've seen people who have cleared rounds of many companies like Atlassian and Twilio by studying the engineering blogs published by Uber, right?
Yeah.
And Nuclei, if you want to clear Nuclei's interview and you go to their blog and you have understood how they have done things, and then you are being interviewed by someone like Pallab and you tell him that, hey, I went to your blog and I saw this and this is amazing. I don't know a little bit about this, but I'll learn. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to welcome you. But that's one of those amazing curiosity mindset which will kind of help you crack those rounds. Amazing to know, Pallab. And yeah, let's move to the next section, which everyone would be waiting for, and that's the interview process. Guys, interview process is just the tip of the iceberg, right? All the depth that Pallab covered till now is the key to success. If you have done all of that successfully, at that point in time, if you come over here, this will augment your chances to a whole new level. But the other things which we covered till now are all equally important, right? Yeah, with that out of the way, moving into the process.
Yeah, so process is not very complicated. It's look lengthy, but it's not very complicated. So most of the part, so we have a very good people and culture team. We tell them people and culture, PNC team. So they majorly take care of our culture. All the people work together and they take care of the people like hiring and other aspects, and we work along with them. So I take a role of hiring manager in most of the time. Suppose I want to hire for my team. So I'm just giving example. And the first call will go from the PNC team. So first round of review, they will go. We internally open a position. Okay, suppose I want to hire for senior backend engineer. Suppose so, I open internally a job role, and then they will go through our requirement and other aspects, and then they will open the job portal and they will post the. So mostly in LinkedIn and other places, you can see we are posting even in our website and other places also. Naukri and everywhere we post it based on the criticality. We will do extensive marketing also for our roles if we need to be filled very soon. So once people started giving us their profiles, first thing is application review. So three things in application review: just don't spread your CV like anything, because that's have two problem. First thing, if you are very good, suppose you are a very good DevOps person and you simply spread your CV for everything, then it devalues you. So suppose you are a DevOps engineer, you are applying for the backend engineer, then we are, oh, he doesn't understand what he needs from himself. This happens. I've seen a lot of time. People, out of frustration, obviously reason, they want to try just get some visibility. Don't do that. Okay. So try to see what is your role, because we in the application review, we see the few things. One is your experience, where you have worked in past, and are you a natural fit for that role at the initial level, right? That is the first stage. After that, a recruiter will call. She will or he will try to understand where you position. Are you looking for more options, or what all things are happening? What is your stability? How long you have worked in various companies? Because we have seen a lot of people start changing company very fast. That's a different reason also, because in remote setup, a lot of time people join a company but they're not able to align, and then they start looking and other things. So there could be multiple reasons, but there has to be justifiable. So, and that is what initial recruiter call will see. And then if all things goes well, we will have first technical round. I'm talking a case of, suppose I'm hiring for a senior backend engineer technical role. For product roles, it will be a little bit different, but I take care mostly the engineering part of the thing. So QA and this thing. So for technical role, first technical round will try to understand that your basics. So either they can give you a HackerEarth problem to solve, or they will sit live with you and whiteboarding, and will online we will try to see that you will able to go through certain problem statement that will be purely based on solving a problem live with the team members. Second technical round onward, it is more about your expertise and what exactly you have done. Then it will go to design aspects and what problem you have solved in the past and all those things. So a minimum 2 technical round to 3 technical round will happen based on the level of expertise you have. Okay. Some of the roles which are senior roles, we also give an assignment, because that need a lot of deep thinking and coming out with more approach. So we don't want to ask them to sit in 1 hour and give all the things. We give them, okay, take aram se and go home and try to find out your expertise and show it out in form assignment. So that we give assignment to them. Then we come to cultural round. That is, if all things go well, final is a cultural round. There we have a open discussion about a lot of aspects. So not a lot of time we give a cultural form also along with that, where a lot of behavioral questions will be there, which you have to answer. So, and I will tell you, most of the time, if you are true to yourself and give a correct thing, that is the best thing. Because if you try to give makeup answer, it's easily able to find out, okay, no, he's just giving like that. So try to true to yourself and give the correct answers in that cultural round. And if everything goes well, then finally offer an update. We don't take much time in if everything goes well. So within 2 days, it will be closed. So that is the complete hiring process.
Oh, lovely. And usually from application review to offer update, what kind of timeline should a candidate expect to wait for? Like, it happens in a couple of weeks or?
Yes, not more than that. Couple of weeks, not more than that.
Okay.
Because initial screening is only difficult part. If you screen, then it will happen back to back. So
Okay.
because every team dedicate a panel, and then panel will continuously taking interviews.
Okay, understood.
That's
So,
how it
so it's
happens.
not that if someone is not available, it'll get delayed for a week or so because the panel is always there.
Yeah, always
Awesome.
there.
Great. You guys have optimized a lot when it comes to your
Yeah,
hiring
yeah.
process.
Suppose I go on off, then I have a replacement who can take in terms of me.
Awesome.
So like that, if somebody want to take technical round 1, so we have three, 4 options. So we will not stop. And we have got a lot of feedback after people finished our interview round, whether they selected or not. They have a very good experience. So in terms of interviews.
No, amazing. I read on your website that everyone deserves an answer, and you guys will answer to everyone. And that a lot of companies, they don't simply, they are overwhelmed by the number of applications and they are unable to answer. But you guys have had such a level of empathy that you always tell your people and the applicants that what their status is, and um, truly inspiring. So a lot of people had questions about the available roles. So in this slide, we have two sections, right? Active jobs are the ones which are open at Nuclei at this point in time, right? And we'll cover the application process as well in a bit. But these are the roles which are open, and passive roles are the ones which can open at any point in time. Though currently they are not hiring for these roles, but it's very likely that in the upcoming quarters or in the near future, some of these roles may also open up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Any expectations or what or anything that or any thoughts that you want to share on this?
Yeah. So 2 things. So basically, it's active job versus passive job is fine. So if you are interested in with Nuclei and you understand and align with our culture, you can connect with us in a lot of ways. So we have a lot of time book club, we publish a lot of blogs and all, try to interact with the people, with the company, and we always look out for the people who are very good in their things. So it's not like that it's very far from opening a job position, because we are scaling. So you don't know, anytime we can open and we need people. So that's what. So stay connected. That's what I will say. So that anytime you can come and join. That's the thing.
Awesome. Yeah, before we get into the application process, don't worry guys, we'll share the link on how to apply. We'll cover that over WhatsApp, over emails. You'll get links and you'll be able to apply for the active jobs right now. But we'll also take a couple of questions that have come through the chat. What is the career path and skills which are needed to become a VP of engineering, Pallab? So someone who is looking forward 5 or 6 years down the line, how did your path and what path they should take?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I never planned, to be very frank. So see, if you are into engineering role, so there are 2 things. So now coming to the answering the question. So first thing is, after 5-6 years of experience into development and all, so you have 2 paths. Either you go to individual contributor role, right? Or you go to management role, right? That's what happens generally. So most of the time, if you are into individual contributor role, you scale up as a principal engineer, and then you want to only focus on the tech part of it. Then you want to be a CTO or some sort of that role, or you stay with the principal engineer role. Now, in terms of VP engineering track, is more of a person who want to have a horizontal reach across the board. So he want to work with the product guys, he want to work with the sales, marketing, and people aspect of it, and then the product, right? Engineer technology. So if you are that type of person who can switch between a lot of things and bring a consensus among all, then you are very good for that role. So that's the thing about to grow as an VP engineering. But sooner or later, you will find out where you lie or where is your interest is.
Yep. No, awesome. Uh, we have another interesting question. So, is DSA required for AI engineering or ML engineering roles? What? How do you guys check for DSA?
Okay. So yeah, but look, he want to understand about like AI for AI/ML type of role, like AI engineering sort of role, if data structure is needed or not, right?
Correct. Right.
So yeah, that's a very wrong way of seeing the things. So what I have seen, a lot of people, they want to end up and doing AI engineering and all those things because they don't want to code, but it's nothing like that. So first try to find your passion, and then if you are going to work in a company, you should have a basics of all the things, right? You cannot jump to third or fourth ladder before you finish first, second, or third. So your computer science fundamental should be good. Obviously, you will not be writing backend code and other things, but at least you have to write infrastructure for your AI ML module to run, right? So you need those basics. So it's not like that you can skip all the things and directly become AI engineer. So that is a misconception. So don't go with that way. So
Yeah,
make your basics strong. Very important.
yeah. So I was talking to one of tech leaders, and a similar kind of question came up, right? That I'm a front end engineer. Should I know DSA or not? And the way we covered it at that point in time was that DSA is basically the language in which you communicate with your computers or with your systems, right? If that is not proper, the entire mechanism will be inefficient, sucking in a lot of resources for the server, for the company, right? And when that happens at scale, that entire software will become inefficient, right? So you should be champions of DSA and utilizing minimum resources, be able to get the maximum output from your code. And that is something that every engineer should strive for. So
Yeah. Yeah, that bring to that question, like for like AI, ML hype and all things are happening. So that is very important thing. First, try to understand what you are passionate about, and then
yeah,
choose that path. Don't just go by the flow. That is very, very wrong. Because at the end, if you are not good in one thing, so suppose you are very, very good in data structure and front end, be a very good front end engineer. There's no problem. Even if you're successful in that, if you are very good in DevOps, be a very good DevOps engineer. Try to improve your skills in that. You will be successful in life. It's not like that everybody is going toward AI and I will leave everything and just go to AI ML. It should not be the thinking. So fundamental should be good. You should know that at the end, it's all things are running in the inside a computer system, right? It's all the system in which we all are working. So fundamental is important for everybody. So after that, you choose your path based on your comfort level and your interest. Like I've seen a lot of people who can exactly empathize with how the designers designed that UI, and they are very good front end engineer, right? So if you understand that thing, you can find out that where you lie.
yep, absolutely. No, that is true. With passion, your aim would be to become excellent in something, and when you
Yeah.
are excellent in something, obviously success will eventually follow. Very, very well said, Pallab. We have one more question, which is around contractor versus full-time job, right? I
Mhm.
reckon at Nuclei, these are all full-time jobs on Nuclei's payroll. But a lot of people in general are scared of being on contract, right? If you have the skills, should you really be scared whether you are on payroll or on contract? Shouldn't you kind of be open? What's your take on that?
Okay. First you have to understand in terms of why any company create a contract roles. Why we don't have is also answers to that. So when there is a business which can see some fluctuations going to happen in future or not have very long term visibility, they keep the roles as a contract, right? Now second thing is that as an employee, should I go into contract roles? I will say if you don't have any option, please go. Why? For contract roles, there is very pressing need or pressing problem which they give to you to solve. And if you solve and impress that company, you will not know, you will get very good exposure and you might end up joining them full time, because I have seen in my life a lot of time. So when Packet Video, we have a lot of people we have taken as a contract. Later on, they joined us full time also, around 10 to 15 people. So I've seen a lot of time in Samsung also. We used to keep a lot of people in contract, and later on they joined full time. But your work output should be best. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And at Uplers, a lot of companies who are based out of US, Europe, Australia, they do not have a setup in India, right? And they have no option but to hire on contract. But that doesn't mean they are looking for necessarily only 1 month or for gig work. They want someone in their team, but because they cannot, they often opt for contractual roles. As long as the skill is there, the cultural aspect and fitment is there, and you are able to deliver, like how Pallab said, if you are able to deliver, then you should grab that opportunity as well. Awesome. And one final question, if we can take, Pallab, there are a couple
Yeah,
of minutes. So one final question that we take. Uh, you have worn multiple hats, right? You take care of technology, you take care of people, you take care of other aspects, processes. Can a software engineer who is coding move to managerial roles, maybe like client success relationship? Your thoughts on that?
okay. Yeah, that's a very good question. So suppose a software engineer, you started as a software engineer. Now you are thinking there are multiple paths. So you can join as a customer success management, or you can become an engineering manager. First, you have to understand uh, two things. Why you want that change to be happening is just because you are facing difficulty in your role. If it's a temporary, you should not do the change, because everywhere there are some challenges. But if you have a natural inclination towards that, like, not every person can become engineering manager, because that needs a different type of skill set. You have to be good in technically, but you should able to understand people's need and able to lead them, which is not everybody's natural instinct. So it's not like that everybody has to become engineering manager. There are a certain set of people who can actually become very good engineering manager, or lead other people. So you have to find out your natural instinct to that. So if you're good in that, you should do a change. That's not a problem. But you have to see, understand, deep dive, and try to understand, is it a temporary situation why you're thinking like that, or it's actually your call from inside that, boss, I would look very good in sales. Suppose I've seen people who are very good in engineering and later move to sales. I've seen those people also, and they're very good in sales, but then they have done that introspection themselves, and also take good feedback from the people who are into the industry. Because you might not know internally also what is happening, but the person who is in that role or that domain can easily tell you, ki boss, you will be good in sales or CSM roles or anything. So take feedback, take someone as a mentor, try to see, try to experiment. But yes, don't, if it's coming into mind, don't just stop it, get it evaluated from someone who is into that role. That's very important.
Yep. No, awesome. And thanks a ton, Pallab, for taking all those questions from our team, from the tech community, and also sharing all those amazing insights. You covered it in such an in-depth manner. You covered the tech stack, you covered the cultural round, you covered everything. And your journey yourself has been pretty inspirational as well. So thank you for taking the time out. And before we leave, there are a couple of questions that went unanswered. So, guys, what we would do after this session is share a link of Discord with you guys. You guys can join that community. I'll also share it with Pallab. And when time permits, Pallab will also join that community. And whenever he will have time to interact or share any updates, he will also do that. Now, while that communication and our Discord and everything is going on, for all those who are interested to apply, can go to uplers.com/talent. You will find the jobs, active jobs of Nuclei listed over there, and then you can apply. And when you clear the assessments, your profiles will be shared with the people and culture team at Nuclei, and then probably you'll be kept updated. Apart from that, you can also go to Nuclei's careers page, and many other links are available from where you can apply. But yeah, with that being out of the way, once again, Thank you to everyone who joined and spent their time learning today. And a very big thank you to Pallab as well for hosting and being our speaker today and sharing amazing insights. Thank you, Pallab. We really appreciate and truly grateful for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Ruchir. And that, like, it's a right initiative so that we can also connect with the people and actually say our heart out. So it's more of I wanted to connect with the people and try to understand what their questions are. Thank you.
No, really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Take care. Good night.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.